Hello? This is the police. I hung up. Not once, 4 times. Why would the police be calling me? It had to be a scam. Until they called a 5th time and said, please don't hang up. That was the moment my life split into before and after. I had just had my COVID vaccine, half awake, sitting on the sofa, phone in my hand, ready to drift off to sleep. And then the house was silent. No one was there. And then everything changed. My breath shortened. My chest tightened. They told me I was listed as my parents' emergency contact. They had been in a serious car accident. They were alive, and they were asking for me. On the drive to the hospital, my mind raced ahead of my life, rehearsing futures I didn't want to imagine. Some of you know that feeling. The moment when the ground drops out and your mind just sprints ahead of your body. When I walked into the emergency room, my parents were in beds side by side. They were praying. I joined them. We held hands, grateful they were alive, clinging to meaning. In that moment, nothing else mattered. And somehow, I handled it. I made the phone calls. That could have changed everything. I gave my parents something to hold on to, bringing up their upcoming 50th wedding anniversary, all the while knowing my entire life could have changed in that one afternoon. What most people don't know is this. Just days earlier, I had been diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, otherwise known as ADHD, a brain-based difference that shapes how energy, attention, and focus are regulated. And that understanding changed how I survived that moment. ADHD didn't make me stronger. Understanding made me steady. For the first time, I wasn't relying on willpower. I had language for my brain. I had support, a way to compartmentalize rather than collapse. This wasn't about being fixed. It was about finally understanding how my brain works. 4 decades. People suggested I get tested. I resisted. I didn't want to be misunderstood or have a story told about me instead of by me. And honestly, I thought I'd already figured out how to cope. Because women are taught something very early. You can handle it. Family, work, health, everyone else's needs. So we do. We mask. Like the time I forgot to pick up someone I loved because I was completely absorbed at work. It wasn't that I didn't care or that they weren't important. My attention had locked onto the task in front of me. They still talk about it And that was almost 20 years ago. Or the way I took obsessively detailed notes at work. Notes my teams loved. What I didn't realize was I wasn't being extra responsible. I was masking. That wasn't productivity. That was masking. And masking, especially when you don't know you're doing it, it's exhausting. The kind of exhaustion you feel in your shoulders, your breath, your bones, every single day. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, girls are significantly less likely to be diagnosed with ADHD in childhood because it often doesn't look the way we expect ADHD to look. We don't always disrupt or fidget. We perfect. We overprepare. We push through. And we pay for it quietly with our peace, our health, our confidence, and sometimes our joy. When I asked my therapist what led her to my diagnosis, she said, within 1 minute of talking to you, you had jumped across 6 different topics. In corporate America, that same trait looked like excellence. That excellence came at a cost. According to the National Institute for Mental Health, many women with ADHD aren't diagnosed until adulthood, often after anxiety, depression, or burnout brings them to therapy. That was true for me. Small things would overwhelm me, not because I didn't care, but because my brain was just overloaded. Since understanding my diagnosis, I stopped seeing myself as broken. I stopped measuring my worth by how hard things felt. My brain didn't change, but my relationship with it did. And that changed how I showed up in life. I built routines around transitions, not willpower. I protect my attention with one thing at a time rules. I learned to say no so that my yes actually means something. I want to take you back to that hospital room with my parents. What stays with me isn't just who I was in that moment. The situation wasn't easier. I finally understood how my mind works. I didn't spiral. I prioritized, asked for support, and took one step at a time. Not perfectly, but present. And that is what understanding gave me. Not a new brain, a new relationship with the one I already had. My parents are okay today. We celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary surrounded by almost 100 of our family and friends. My dad even wrote a 5-act play, each of us reenacting their love story. They slow danced that day. A miracle I will treasure forever. For most of my life, I believed if I just tried harder, I could fix myself. I believed the answer was discipline. Push through. Don't fall behind. But the moment that changed my life didn't come from effort. It came from understanding. And even if you don't have ADHD, because none of us are designed to work exactly the same way, stop asking what's wrong with you and start asking how you work. Not how you should work, not how others seem to work, but how you work. Because when you stop fighting your brain and you start understanding it, you don't just survive the hardest moments of your life. You meet them present, capable, and grounded. And that shift changes everything. Thank you. Oh.